One word, serve. Just one word, and that is serve. How are you serving? Who are you serving? When are you serving? How often are you serving? Do you even think about serving during Christmas time? Our minds and our thoughts are always preoccupied, more often than not, with what we are going to get. But this is a time of year in which we need to be thinking of serving. Good morning, everybody. It's time for Morning Manna, and it's so good to see you on this morning. So good to see you on this morning. And this morning, it's all about serving. And I want you to be thinking in terms of that. And we're lifting that up. We prayed about it, First Lady and I. So if you missed the prayer, you can come back on my page and you can catch it. I want to greet some people, and then we're going to get right into the word on this morning. Good morning, CC. How are you? Good morning, Ramona. How are you on this morning? Good morning, Angela. How are you? Deacon Joe, how are you? Joel, how are you? Brenda, how are you doing? Elder Mobley, how are you? Serving. Dawn, how are you? Liz, how are you? Verena, how are you doing? Lydia, how are you? Carolyn, how are you on this morning? You know, it is a time in which we typically don't always think about others. We think about in terms of serving. But that's what I want to focus in on. That's what we prayed about. That's what I'm still talking about on this morning. Good morning, Peggy. How are you? Pamela, how are you? Minister Sent, how are you? Coach Dagny, how are you? Francine, how are you doing on this morning? LaFawn, how are you? Elder Jan, how are you doing on this morning? This morning is all about serving. It's all about serving. Good morning, Ari. How are you on this morning? It's all about serving. And that's what we want to get into on this morning because Advent is about that. And really, what triggered my mind really about this and triggered in my spirit is right now, the staff of New Life is delivering over 500 shoes to seven schools in District 90, middle school, elementary school, and junior high, with respect to tennis shoes that our church has bought, not as a church from the church budget, but individuals, life changers who wanted to serve one another. Wanted to serve one another. I mentioned in one of my posts, I said, our church is a church about leading. And if we see a need, we got to lead. Let me say that again. If we see a need, we got to lead. You can't draw from that, can't shrink from that. That's part of what it means to be a leader. So, to that end, I want to just continue to talk about that and to help you see through the lens of Scripture. What does it mean in Advent with respect to serving? Let me say hello to a couple of more people and then we're going to get into the word. Good morning, Vaughn. How are you? Linda, how are you on this morning? Good morning, Star. How are you on this morning? And it's all talk about serving. Star, who is the commander of our Awana, who serves so well there. Denise, how are you on this morning? The text to take away, 5 minutes or less, serving. Here is the text, Psalms 102. Psalms 100, the second verse. Serve the Lord with gladness, not with sadness, not out of obligation, not even out of routine. Serve the Lord with gladness. Three ways that you can serve. First is financial. Matthew 6:24 says you can't serve both God and mammon. Only place where there's such a choice. There's only the place where he gives you a distinct choice here. You can't serve both God and money. You can't serve both God and the things of the world. You can't serve both. You got to do what you need to do with the resources that he's giving you. And if he's giving you, and he has resources, then you have to serve him with that. You have to serve him with that. If you don't, then you will become a servant to it. Let me say that again. If you don't use the money that you have to serve God, by others, by serving others, then you will ultimately serve it. You will ultimately serve it because money has a way of making itself a master in your life. Let me say that again. Money has a way of making itself a master in your life. So the choice is stark and clear. You can't serve both. Serve by then taking what you have to serve others financially. Secondly, physically. What are you doing in a physical way, in a way of actually deeds? Matthew 10:42 says, give a cup of cold water to one of these, and you've done it unto him. If you just give a cup of cold water unto any of these, he says you've done it unto him. In other words, the deeds matter. What we do for others matter in a physical way. Here's the third thing, spiritual. A word of encouragement, a prayer, an embrace, something that says in a spiritual way, a time of which I touch and agree with you in prayer. I hear what God is saying and I respond to it. I serve financially, I serve physically, and I serve spiritually. What's your takeaway this morning? Be the flesh of Christ in Christmas. Serve. Be the flesh of Christ in Christmas. Serve. The Lord be with you today. May his face shine upon you and give you peace. This bless you, bless somebody else. Don't keep it to yourself. Share this manna. And I'll see you tomorrow morning with more morning manna. And see those of you who are walking through the Bible with me in our last book in Revelations we finished tonight. God bless you. Bye now.